I'm an avid outdoor worker, and I love making my nature look nice, I guess, or maintained. Not probably in a conventional sense, but I like working outside, I guess. I like working in my garden. I like working in nature. I like, all of that. Some of it's not so much fun, like getting rid of overgrowth we have this weed and a weed is anything that people don't want. So there are different opinions of weeds. Like dandelion to me isn't a weed because it's edible. So I like dandelion. Actually, I'll go into that in another video, but I like dandelion actually a lot. It's really good to eat. Dock is the one that we have that I hate. We have a lot of moisture at our property in our house, and it propagates dock, which is an edible. It's a wild edible, but I hate it. I do not like it. It's extremely fibrous and is not my particular cup of tea as far as wild edibles go. I consider there to be a lot better greens in nature to find and eat than that. So we have a lot of it, and that's so unfortunate. And actually, you can't eat more than the very new growth, which is really, really small. And dock grows to can grow to about 4 feet tall. Its stalks can when it's blooming and doing all its craziness. So I may get a shot of it or a picture of it before I cut it all down, because it's truly, to me, unbelievable. I've never seen this before. I've never had a house that had this kind of stuff. So this morning, to start us off right, I'm going to go get some breakfast for us. I like to eat breakfast tacos. Being a Texas girl, I will tell you, people from Texas and their breakfast tacos. My sister moved to Washington State, and everything she did was to find breakfast tacos, and she brought breakfast tacos for her coworkers, for her friends, and so her friends are at least somewhat, that when she lived there, they were somewhat acquainted with how we do it in Texas, and it all goes into a taco. And so I'm going right now to a little Mexican restaurant that does breakfast, and they make breakfast tacos, and I get the same one, and I pretty much always have, if it's from a little mom and pop shop type of place, I always get bean and potato, refried beans and potato on a flour tortilla, and I eat it with a lot of salsa, and it is really good. It's vegetarian, and it's just, I've always eaten off and on vegetarian throughout my life, just because I like the way I eat that way. But it's been great because it's actually really filling, but not heavy, because there's no meat in it. So I really like it, and it's easy to eat on a day where I'm about to go do a lot of hard work outside. So I'm here at my little place, and I will see you in a second. I'm gonna go get my tacos. So I'm back in the car. I got my tacos and can't wait to eat them. They're so good. The main thing is the salsa, because without really good salsa, fresh salsa, it just doesn't taste the same. But I've eaten this actually for a really long time. I've been eating this taco since college, a long time ago. Over 10 years I've been eating this taco, and it's funny because when we first moved into our house and started going to this place to get tacos, nobody had ever ordered this taco. Not that it's all that amazing, but they were like, "You want just bean and refried potato, refried beans and potatoes?" And so now they know my order. When I say, they go, "Okay," it's like not even a question. So, but I'm excited to have my tacos and my salsa, and I'm just so excited. But I got my fuel now. I haven't had my tea yet. I'm a little sad. But I'm gonna get my yerba mate going. That'll be nice, because that's like a little boost of energy. As I mentioned in my previous video about my teas, that I use yerba mate before I go to the gym. And this all started because of yoga, actually, because yoga prescribes to do exercise, yoga on an empty stomach. And if you've done any kind of yoga, like intensely or athletically or whatever, you probably understand why. It's twisting and turning and inversions. You don't want food in your stomach. You don't want anything in your stomach. Would probably make for a pretty bad time. So it's pretty uncomfortable. But I use my yerba mate on the days where I do outdoor work, and it offers me the energy and the focus to get through some of the stuff that I've got to do and want to do. And I get my carbohydrates going, my starches, and that seems to be a pretty good combination. It seems to work out pretty well for me, and the beans have some protein and all that good stuff, so it's good for your mind, your body, and get you going. And really love my yerba mate, so oh man, so good. But it's definitely a good choice if you do a lot of physical stuff. Like I do a lot of outdoor work, and so when I do that, I always make my tea. I switch off between this and green tea throughout that day, because sometimes yerba mate can be a little too intense going on later into the day, and I just wanted a little, I just love tea, so I'm just trying to find other ways to accommodate my need, which is green tea is a gentler kind of stimulation, I think you could say, like stimulant. Yerba mate is pretty intense, but it works. It's great. I like it for that reason. But yeah, so I'm a little disoriented right now. I'm tired, and like I said, I haven't had my tea yet, so I'm a little out of it right now. But maybe I'll pick this back up and show you. I'm gonna hopefully take some pictures of the work that I'm gonna do and show you what I've got to take care of, and then you can see the before and after. And it's funny because this is, like I mentioned before, this is like the part of me that, this is again another facet of my personality and self that doesn't really fit into the expectations of people that I engage with in my real world. When I go out for the day with people to do brunch or to do lunch or to do dinner, those people would never guess this is who I am. So it's kind of fun getting to share all these parts of me, because I wouldn't invite a friend over to hang out with me and watch me do yard work. That would not work out very well. That would not be fun for them, and I would not enjoy having to keep the company. So I am enjoying getting to share that in some capacity, so that's nice for me. I feel complete. I feel so whole. But I'll show you the before and the after, and it's not going to be all of the work I'm going to be doing, because it's a lot, but you'll get to see some of what I like to do and what I need to do and what I take care of and all that. So yeah, I'll get to it. I gotta go make some tea now. I'm gonna go eat some tacos and drink some tea. Hey there. So, boy, this has been a lot of hard work. You can't tell by my face, I'm sweaty. So let me show you what I have done so far. I still got some more work to do, but basically it's been about, I want to say 3 hours since I started, and it's a lot of hard work because we have some really persistent and pervasive greenery that does not like to go easily. So let me show you what I've done so far. Okay, so here it is. This is that picture I showed you. I'm up actually on our porch right now, so I'm higher up, but that picture I showed you, that meter right there was completely covered with grass, and now it is standing alone. That's actually our septic system. Like that white tube, and then that thing on the ground, that round thing, and then that box with the red little thing on top.
that's our septic system point of operation. So we have to keep that clear, which it didn't take long for this to get overgrown really fast. So I went through and I cleared a lot of this out down here. That was about 3 feet is how high they had gotten so far of this dock that grows crazy and wild. And I got through to some of this, and that down there is actually black plastic. There's our deck, our porch, and then there's the black plastic. The previous owner had decided she should plant like 50 honeysuckle. I think it's Japanese honeysuckle, which is actually, I don't know if I can, yeah, there you go. I don't know if you can see that. It's actually, it's right there in the middle. But anyways, she planted a ton of it, and while I love, love, love honeysuckle, it grows invasive. And let me show you this over here. This is what it looks like when it is not managed. So that's actually a pathway, and that's the honeysuckle growing on a very tiny, very precariously structured little fence, as you can see through the honeysuckle right there. I curled it back because we opened that up to make a doorway. But that's all honeysuckle. That sticks out about 3.5 feet. And it's being held on by nothing. It's just hanging onto it. So we're actually we took it all off of our deck. So our deck used to look like that, and now it looks like this. So this is a far cry from that. So we took off the honeysuckle because it was just too much. It was overgrowing. It was like, if you can see the edge of this, it was about probably that tall over, which is about 1 foot. So I put a foot over it so it would come up and over like that. And so this area back here was overgrown by all of the grass and dock. And we actually have a ton of goldenrod, and you can start to see some bits of it growing here and there. I can actually show you some right here. So those actually, that right there, those pretty leafy, tall weaving things, not the big leaf, but the little leaves, all those right there, that's actually called goldenrod. And it's actually a habitat for butterflies. And that's ornamental ginger. Can't eat that, but it makes a very pretty flower, which ginger you eat doesn't actually flower all that often. And it's really tiny and very insignificant from what I've heard from people who are avid ginger growers. And you can see the honeysuckle growing in this tree right here. That's a tree, that's not honeysuckle, but that's the honeysuckle invading a tree. Honeysuckle is extremely invasive in our part of the country, in central Texas. It's extremely invasive, and it will suffocate things. It'll just take over. The tree that this is actually growing on right here is also a persistent tree. It grows hundreds of babies. So these two are good bedfellows together because they won't outcompete each other. They'll both keep up. But I was clearing all of that because the dock overgrows here. And okay, so back to here. So some of the goldenrod had to come down with the dock because it grows in a similar habitat, but believe me, there is like thousands of goldenrod plants that I'll get to show you as the season continues to progress. But this is our backyard. I'm giving you a glimpse into it. We live on a couple of acres, and it's a lot of work, I will say, but I grew up in a rural / city setting, so I got the kind of best of both worlds. I got to be in the city where things were, HOA neighborhoods and, manicured lawns and that. And then I grew up in a country setting where it was just whatever. And in Central Texas, this is very unique what we have here. We actually have a particularly wet spot, which means there's a lot more vegetation that grows here than most places. And we have some of the most beautiful oak trees. We have black willows. We can grow bald cypress pretty easily. That's actually a popular one more recently here in this area, is people to grow bald cypress. Those are really pretty. Pecan trees. We have so many pecan trees. We can't even get the pecans, if that makes any sense. They drop so quickly and the ground is so wet that they immediately turn into trees. And after I'm done getting this next bit of work done, I have to go back out to my large future garden that I was hoping to get set up first.
that's not going to happen. There's so much vegetation out there. I realize it's like a jungle, so it's going to take probably about a year or two to get it all cleared out to where we can actually put anything in it, because it's overrun by all kinds of thorny vines, all kinds of plants. Goldenrod is coming out of my ears over there. Like, I swear I wish I could eat it. It's so abundant. But I'm gonna go ahead and continue doing that real quick and finish that up, and I've got to come over here and finish some more stuff up.